Nu får jag trycka på live. Där. All right. Let's see. We have the first few frames of video streaming from Nordic ADV TV. It's a celebration time, I think. Starts with a cheer, perhaps. Cheers.
Yeah, probably. Cheers, lads.
Cheers, everyone. It starts off like, at least Nordic streams or bike rides seem to work.
Yeah, there's an echo in here. There's some sound going out on the broadcasts.
Okay. So he's turned off. So let's see if someone can perhaps confirm that it's going out good and the audio is good. Where's the sorry, Thomas, you need to have the you made the famous. They were asking for the so let's do that again. All right. Sorry, I have to. Yes, that's what we were all waiting for.
What an opening.
All right, good. So, Nordic ADV TV, and they're excited on what we have planned. Is this baby planned at all? What do you say?
Yeah, well, probably we've been working on this in the behind the scenes for a couple of months now, and have actually quite more than less after we met in the woods behind in this summer. And just being able to meet up and make something creative and give back to the audience that are so curious about who we are and what we do and what we're planning next. And yeah, it's great to give something back, because like you and also like everyone is kind of getting quite a lot of traction on the channel now. So it's really hard to write in words with every comment that comes in. So maybe this is a good option to kind of give back to everyone that's watching and enjoying all our content.
Actually, I think it's just an extension of what we started, because we have our own YouTube channels, and in that we have that in common and all the challenges and stuff. So when we met in the woods this summer, first time we met the all three guys at the same place, we sat by the fire and we started talking, having a few beers, and the talking never stopped since then. So we have so much to talk about, and the ADV community, I guess there's an endless pool really of things to talk about. So I guess that's where the idea came up with having a live, same thing as we normally do, but with an audience. Thomas, you want to give it a go?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's just a collaboration between the three of us trying to do something cool that are not that so much into what we normally do on our channels, because that lives its own life. And I think this is the great possibility to be invited to different events, going to different events, seek out some of the guys we have contacts with, and just being a part of the community. Go out, try new stuff, look at bikes, look at the, I'm not sure how to say messe in English, but like kind of like the events. And I think this is just it's a project we started to see how far we can take this branch of what we're doing. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Matthias wasn't heard in the first part there. So can you say a few words and I'll see if the sound comes through? Matthias?
Yeah, I hope the sounds come through. Do we have my voice here?
Yes, I think so. At least
Yeah, perfectly.
my meters here, my odometer, oil pressure, and temperature there looks all right. Good.
I think it's good if anyone out there could confirm if we have the sound and or audio.
Yeah, the guys in the chat says they can't hear Matthias at all.
Yep.
Ah,
It works.
okay.
It works.
Interesting.
I fixed it. I'm the fix guy now, you know. So yeah, on this show,
Okay.
yeah, I fixed
Yeah, okay,
it.
now it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, sorry guys, but it's kind of a delay on the live stream going out to YouTube, and we are on a Skype call or in the software we use to transfer this stuff. So everything is kind of a little bit delayed. So everything you write to us will come in faster than we can broadcast it out to you guys. It's a couple of seconds or maybe half a minute delay.
Yeah.
Just to be aware of that.
That's good. So in this first live stream, which will be sort of a first test, it will be about us talking about the project Nordic ADV TV. And I think the new channel comes from, we should do something together. We should have a live stream and talk about this and that. But we couldn't decide on whose channel to broadcast it on, or just share it on the 3 channels that we have at the same time would not be a good idea. And then came the idea to create a new channel. So this will be about us in this time, but then we will have topics. What are you doing, Thomas?
I just closed the window. It was getting cold on my fingers.
Oh, you don't have to, you have a Zoom thing on there, you know. You don't have to go closer. You can actually just turn it and it will be, yeah.
I just giving the audience a good look at my Freddie Mercury look. I think it's quite delicious, to say at least.
Okay, guys, I have an idea here. If probably some out there knows us already in some way, but we could introduce ourselves with some short words. When did we start the adventure motorcycling and so on? Well, a little bit of the history.
Actually, for the audience to get the real truth, I think me and Thomas should tell them who you are. And you can so
yeah, that's a good idea.
We don't want your words on
Sounds
who you
good.
are. So why don't we start the first words of Matthias? He's known for his little coffee. Is it there somewhere? You have it.
Case of
the little fika.
Yeah. So a few words that I know, and you can fill in, Thomas. You're besides from the ADV rider. You, I was thinking if I can say "fuck truck" on YouTube. We can decide that later. But that's the that sort of mobile home that you're riding around in, and you shoot animals in the woods.
Oh
Yeah.
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 That's the most popular content on the channel.
So, what do you know about Matthias, Thomas?
No, that I've been knowing Matthias. I just call him Tommy because we have such a great connection and we have had a connection for quite some time now. I'm not sure everybody knows this, but me and Matthias started becoming friends a couple of years back in the beginning of my channel, and he was kind of just started into it. And he's just the guy you see on his videos. He's just like the big man you just want to give a hug. And trust me, I've been camping with him in the woods, and he shares a couple of things, but that would be for another story.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah, but you like to take your time in your videos. It's very calm, and you sit and look at the lake and talk to it or us, and have your slow cooking sequences there. So, and you ride a KTM 790, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think you're onto it here, and the silver lining on the channel is very much outdoors, and that's combined with the different other interests like ADV riding.
So, all right. And then we have Thomas. I know you're tall. Can we see if now people know you're tall. You're a fireman, and you make almost you have sort of a mania on perfect videos and the great shots and all. He has the most expensive camera equipment in the whole team.
Yeah, that's the photographer of
Yes.
us, definitely.
Yeah. For real. What can you fill in with?
Living in a great nature in Western Norway. You always have the great shot right out of the door.
Yeah. Perhaps the comments can fill in.
Yeah, it's kind of like I've been doing photography since I was a little child, and I've always been interested in that kind of things. And my passion for photography and composing and all the technical details about this have kind of made me want to bring out high quality stuff and trying to share what I felt was lacking in the motorcycle adventure videography stuff on YouTube. So I was trying to kind of I know that Norway sells. Norway is an amazing country and so much beautiful scenery, and I thought that I could capture that in best possible way and try to show it out on video.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. If you go back to, I'm not sure how we really met, but of course it was on the internet. I know that I looked at some of your videos. I'm not sure if it was you who commenting, and I looked up who you were, because I always do that on you out there. If you comment anything, I look if you have a channel or something, and I think I did that on Thomas, and found out that he had been in Europe and was riding the Trans-Euro Trail up through Sweden. And I think that started, and we found each other very, very well in wordings and so on. And we have had years now of chatting behind the scenes and so on. Really, really great friend out there.
Yeah, that's great. And
so we have Robert.
But first, tell us about your media background, and we can go around the table with that. I can start that I have no media background, but a video editing hobby that I've done quite a while now. Thomas, do you have a media background in any way before this? I know you're becoming more of a media guy.
No, actually, I'm kind of self-taught. Everything I've done is just through photography and sharing my thoughts on different forums and stuff online. But it's just been kind of like photography. But I never have any media experience in that kind of way, like a professional way. But I'm really looking into that now. I'm going to develop a business in production and have a production company with a couple of guys that I practice with. So yeah, I think it took me quite some time to find my passion in videography, and I enjoy it so much, and the editing process about it. I really don't want to let it go. I want to just continue down this path and see how far it can take me, and that is probably why we're sitting here today, to kind of like see what we can help each other to grow and make out of it, because we are three kind of unique characters with the same passion and interest. So it's quite interesting to see how well we clicked and how well we chat and how well we are with each other. And yeah, let's see what we make together.
Yeah, absolutely. So is it
so
my
shall
turn?
we talk a little bit about who Robert is?
Okay.
Yeah, so how do we know Robert? I think first time I saw Robert was actually on the YouTube channel, even if we live 20 minutes from each other. Me in Trollhättan and Robert in Grästorp. But I found out you on the YouTube channel, Nomad Sweden, and I could immediately see that you were a bunch of fun guys having fun together, and it was very easy to like what you were doing and so on. With great humor. You're always quick on the comments and answers and so on. very, very funny guy.
You put the pressure on me. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, but it's kind of like you are always the one with that are quick with a joke, and I've seen a couple of your other project or your other channels, and you've been used to having a laugh on in front of the camera with your martial arts and stuff like that, and your mountain biking. So I think you are the that makes it so interesting is that you are kind of the joke in the group, or how to say it, the quick with the joke and having a laugh, and are the most silly one and make good humor. And I think that is something that most of us can relate to. Like me, I have really trouble being myself in front of camera when I'm all alone, but you seem to just do that way too easy, to be honest.
Okay, so we have the clown, the artist, and the hunter or woodsman, I guess. So yeah, so
yeah, the three musketeers. No, what did we say? We the man, the myth, and the legend. Wasn't that? But I don't know what. Yeah, who is who?
Yeah.
I think that's for you to decide out there. Hey, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, for sure. So in this channel, we're going to try to provide some content, of course. Not only this is the only episode, as mentioned, that we are going to talk about ourselves. In that, you will hear a lot of our opinions on topics, of course. But what do we see? What can we do with this channel moving forward? Of course, we have a list of things to do here. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's we have so many topics that we could elaborate more, and like every one of us is making videos in certain topics, but we could elaborate on those topics for hours if we actually would. But I think that the main things is to kind of give a little bit back to the community, trying to build a better community around us, trying to invite in certain guests, people that we admire and that inspire us to become better. And there's quite many of them out there. And of course, trying to make it a little bit like a live podcast where we just having a good time, enjoying ourselves, talk about our opinions. And of course, we will try to arrange for giveaways and connections with different people or different events that we can do stuff with. So we just have to see. It's kind of like the path will become as we go, or how to this evolve.
I see that what we have on this channel in the future here, we have gear talk. We will look into the new bikes 2023, for example, and the news. And as you said, Thomas, we will invite personalities out there in this branch in the ADV community that we are interested in, and I think that you will be interested in that too, in different topics. So I think we have a journey here in front of us, and I hope you will like that. And please comment on that as well, because if you have any ideas and things that you would like to see, we are very happy to see that in the comments as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when it comes to guests, that will be one sort of style of the show, I guess. And the guests could be, as someone in the comments mentioned, could be other YouTubers, but of course also other travelers, which have an interesting story. And we also spoke of inviting someone from any country, or so that will be 1 year if we want to do all the countries, but just getting to know everything that you need to know to travel in the different countries and things like that. So we could have...
Yeah, speaking of travel, that is a very interesting topic as well, where to travel and the adventures. And as well, funny topics, I think, like, do you need to train to log jumping to be an ad rider? That's a popular topic, for example.
Yeah, you need to jump logs.
We have much to come here. Very important.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, we have the topics here. I've written a list of a lot of things. Like we'll talk about all the upcoming bikes for next year, and have a look at them and discuss them. Camping, traveling, gear talk, not reviews, but talking about gear, because that's a good thing with us three also, that we have different approaches to packing and gear in general. So that'll be something, and just an excuse to meet up like this and have fun.
Yeah, and just to sit around, almost like sitting around a bonfire when we're camping, just sharing good stories, talk about the topics that are interesting now, or things that could change the scene, like the L bikes and petrol bikes and everything. Like here in Europe, they're talking about the stopping producing gasoline bikes after 2025. So there's so many topics you can just throw a dart on the board, and you would find something interesting. But I think that a lot of the things is also just us trying to speak our opinion on it. We are no experts by any means in any of this, but we are a professional, how to say it, synsare, a professional.
Yeah.
We like to have an opinion and share our thoughts about that. So it will be nice to, and of course we will listen to the feedback we get. We will try to, this is the first live show we do. I know you, Robert, have done some live show on your channel, but for us three together, and of course bringing in interested guests, will make, we need to make this path as we go. And for me, I've been invited to a couple of podcasts this year, and I've seen how they done. And I was not a regular podcast listener before this year, actually. And I think that the podcasts are really popular these days. And I see that not many people do live shows as well as podcasts. And I think for us being three from the Nordic countries having a blast. And I think I want to give a little bit back to the guys that inspired me in this segment, like the Trail and Adventure Motorbike podcast. The Clive and Noel in England has kind of inspired me a lot to what I think this should be about. So yeah, I think it can be interested for a lot of you guys to hear. And I know a lot of people comes with questions about things that are kind of like obvious to us, like how to camp, how to find camps, trails, routes, GPS tracks and everything. And I think we can share our opinion that it's not that easy to make a standalone video about.
I think that since we're speaking of topics, one very, very important topic to get you out there to interacting with us is that we will, at any video, pick and choose by your comments. Since we're speaking about the channel and a little bit of ourselves, I think it should be really cool if maybe Robert could pick up some comments and questions from you that we could answer directly.
Yeah, because as I said, we won't do real reviews, but we will have an interesting guests at some episodes. And one of my most dear guests that I would like to meet again through this channel and talk to and invite is my old pants, actually, that I borrowed. I lent them to Steve. He's on this chat right now, actually. He's offering to do a review of my pants, but I actually want to know the full story and get to know all the experience that my pants were through in the Africa Eco Race, doing record wheelies and everything. And yeah, let's not...
You mean those pants that you're always going to think about his hot ass every time you use them? Is that those pants?
Hot can be sort of interpreted in different ways, but yeah, so... Yeah, I think, Steve, you have a standing invitation here. It will be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's one of the things. And I think people are sort of with us here and yeah, interested in what's going to happen on the channel. So yeah, it's let's see. We have a lot of comments. Most of them were when they didn't hear you, Matthias. But we have Boss Cat from the UK, and the home festival there of UK is, of course, the ABR festival. It would be a blast to go there, because nowadays we got to know quite a few, at least visible through YouTube, people there that we would like to go meet. Like
I've seen it. Looks like a super show.
Yeah,
really.
Like the
yeah, and it's kind of funny because a lot of the guys in UK, for me, I was when I started out this journey of YouTubing, filming, and everything. I went onto YouTube and I started searching what did I like and what did I dislike, and I tried to write a list of everything that I really enjoyed and had a good pleasure of watching on YouTube, and tried to replicate that and nail that kind of topic and trying to do my own variation of it. And in that regard, I came across Greg Villalobos. He's a huge inspiration for my kind of work, and the shoot and ride community and everything around that was kind of like my path into this thing. And the funny part is that I kind of evolved my own thing into this, and to learning to know Clive and Noel. I've been chatting along with them for quite some time. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Greg Villalobos yet, but I hope I will be able to do one day. And it's kind of like you're bringing together so many creative minds and so many great people, and the community is quite unique that way. And like Ollie from Olimoto in UK with the rubber duck thing with the Harley Davidson they built, and it's kind of like everybody's are really getting in there and trying to make good content, and it looks like most of us are kind of the same breed. We are the same people who just want to have a good time and share to the people out there that it is fun and it can be done without being afraid of having poor English or having the wrong setup or And of course, that is another topic we could talk about, camera gear and microphones and all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of into the technical things.
yeah.
Of course. And you were into something very interesting there with the ADV community. It is a rather tight community and a very friendly community as well, and helping each other. And that's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is a bit a challenge not to talk more about cameras, but perhaps we should make a special only about that, so that those who are interested in that could watch. Because
watch out for the camera
because
gear.
all we do on our channels is bikes, and adventure, and that's our big interest, of course. But they don't really realize that half of our hobby is producing, editing, making videos. So of course we become sort of, that's a necessity, I think. So we're half bikers, half video makers, I guess.
Yeah, and the brilliant part about this is that I have come in contact with so many different people, not only because I make adventure videos and adventure riders across Europe or across the world. I have followers in America. I have followers across the whole globe, but people that are into video productions, people that are into camera, people that are into all the technical stuff as well are following me, chatting with me, giving me inspiration, giving me tips, and for me to become better. And that is quite unique because everybody seems to want you to succeed in a way. So it's quite special to, and I know a lot of guys out there are really interested in what we do and how is that you make so high quality stuff, and this goes so much into that. I think that we could talk for hours just about how to set up a story, have something good to talk about, and the camera gear, the angles, the audio, and of course, like here, the audio is so very important. So yeah, it's we could elaborate a lot about.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if also worth mentioning is in the description of every video that we make on this channel will be a link to the same form where you can give us feedback and do some suggestions on whatever topic that you would like us to cover, and then we'll give you your our thoughts of that topic and prepare that broadcast, but also bring in your questions and ideas from that. So that's a good source, and I hope you use it. All right. So, and also this is a great activity to do when we are bored, longing to get out riding again, of course, because now, at least here, really crappy weather. One day above 0, one day below. Me and Matthias were in not the very southern part, but we're in southern Sweden, I would say. So, but you are more far up north, Thomas. So I guess.
Yeah, but I'm still on the west coast of Norway,
Yeah.
so there's quite. It's not that cold yet, but it's raining, and every time it's the weather is nice, it's getting below 0 degrees. So winter is soon upon us.
Yeah.
I can imagine there will be snow any day now, and yeah.
But it's become a thing for me. You don't have that possibility, I think. But since I got the T7, I've ridden at least once every month since I bought it 3 years ago. So I have to ride. It's become a thing. I cannot miss one. So if it's only around the block or whatever, I take out the bike, and so I can check that the month in the calendar. So hopefully.
Yeah, you're looking for some Motoberfest in the woods.
Yeah,
It might be there.
I'm cheating.
Yeah, but keep in mind that you guys have a lot of gravel roads. Here in Norway, they keep on spraying the roads with salt, so it really fucks up the bike, and it's just terrible to ride around in that kind of like the salty slush they have on the roads. So every time it becomes 0 degrees and you see the trucks riding around spraying salt all over the roads, I just park my bike for that season and wait until spring again.
Yeah, and in Sweden actually, in Sweden actually it's the other way around, because they pour the salt on the gravel roads in summertime.
Yeah, to prevent the dust.
Yeah. So when it's raining and that salt so you will get salt on the bike every time. So you just have to clean it, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I hope to someday get some studs on my bike and really do a beautiful winter's fully snow day on the bike. And perhaps that will be...
And I know I get a lot of questions about, of course, now we are doing something new together. We're trying to do this, but it will not stop only here. We will try to you, the viewers, we will try to get together and do rides and trips together. We will probably try to do a couple of reviews together. Not probably the way you think we would do a review, but still, I think that if we have the humor of Robert and the good feel and good vibe of Matthias and my camera skills, I think we could put something really fun together. Towards that.
Yeah.
And of course, there are gear and stuff that I use and you guys use and are quite happy with. And I think we are not by any means sponsored in any ways by any of the brands. And we don't want this channel to be about sponsorships and paid commercials and that kind of stuff. But there are some stuff we are really happy about using, and we use it every day or on all our adventures, and we will probably shine a light on all that equipment as well.
Yeah, I think every one of us have a lot of questions on our channels on gear, what gear we use and what we think about it and so on. And I'm very happy to answer those questions on my channel, and I think it's very good to do in this context as well. All three of us with our opinions on different things or the same type of gear.
Yeah, and of course some things we disagree on, and like light is right, or layering with clothing. And but I know that there's one topic that surprised me a lot this year with the popularity, and that is tools. Holy crap, tools on a bike, that is like a religion on its own. It's kind of like some people want to bring their whole shed with all the equipment, and some just have the Visa card and a go. So there, it's kind of like that. There is a lot to cover in that aspect.
That's
as well.
A great topic.
Yeah.
And also the packing, light is right, or bring your chairs and Foppa toffler, that silly rubber boots,
Yeah. No, not even silly. If Crocs ever watch this episode, I want them to know I'm all over sponsorship if you want me. Just so that
I knew it. I think you will get them.
Yeah, I hope so. And I promise to give you something for Christmas this year. I won't spoil it, but it will be a nice surprise.
Nice surprise, actually. I remember through the Turkey trip, we came through some little town in the deep of Turkey, and we turned, and it came just from my spine. I didn't even think it, but I saw a big crate full of these Foppa slippers, and I just said, Hansen.
Yeah. And it was really cool because I saw that detail. I was like, yeah, he remembered.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But that is kind of it's kind of interesting thing that actually I just want to elaborate a little bit around that topic, because Crocs is the most genius product on the market today. It just, you can use it in the shower, you can use it for camping, you can use it on town, you can even use it on National Day, or what you call it, Constitution Day here in Norway. Not everybody agrees.
You can also ride your bike with it.
Yeah, and yeah, you can actually make your bike look better with a pair of Crocs. There's, in the scene of fashion, it's not a pair of Crocs, except for a couple of years, every 5 or 10 years. Then it's all of a sudden it's on fashion again, and everybody want to wear it. And I think
now it's the time when Rob just do like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have him here actually.
Is, I think every
next to
adventure
you,
rider
Matthias.
should
Oh
own
yeah,
it.
he's not approving.
Ah.
Yeah. So sorry guys, we said this would not be a sponsored channel, but I think most of them feel the urge for some Foppa slippers right now. but
Oh, no.
actually, I do have. I always pack some small and light shoes, because when you're out riding and you get to camp, and of course, if you don't want to stroll around in your big MX boots or whatever, I pack the lightest and smallest shoes that I can bring and sort of live with out there at least. And perhaps Foppa is the way. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but I've been to a couple of campings where the showers are just, yeah, I don't want to go barefoot inside the showers. And of course, I do wild camping a lot. And sometimes it can be really hard to take a skinny dipping in the morning or in the evening. And just putting on Crocs and go out with all the stones and stuff, that is quite amazing. And of course, getting off your big boots that smells like wet dog. Yeah, that feeling with the beer.
And now we're all over the place because we don't have a topic for this first session. But now you said smelly MX boots. And so I had the normal MX boots on my last trip. And you go through and you get wet at a certain point. But also with... because first trip I did, I had the waterproof boots. And they are waterproof if you stand in a puddle that is sort of ankle high, but then you wade over something and you get all wet. And the biggest thing that I have to solve yet, I figured many things out, but how do you dry your boots on the road? It's 40 degrees hot. They stay wet for a week almost, and you get this germ sort of farm. And it stinks, and I've tried waterproof, and I've tried the MX boots, but yeah, so I guess that's where we perhaps can learn from the community.
Robert, you shouldn't hide them in the shadows. You should put them very, very up front and pride the entree with them in the sun, so they dry out faster.
Yeah, the sun and heat is good, but
there was something I learned when I was quite young, actually. Here in the Nordic countries, we are, challenged with wet conditions and snow and cold and everything. And the importance of having dry and warm boots is, the matter of life and death, especially if you're in the military or you're a soldier and all that stuff. And I actually learned that just putting in newspapers, like crunching up newspaper and fill the boot with it and just let it sit for a while, it just sucks all the moisture out of it. And it's really not easy, but it could be a way to dry your boots on the road overnight.
I think that I've tried that, and I think that is the method that has worked most well, because we have stayed at hotels and things through our trips, the latest long ones, and I've done all these configurations with hair dryers and everything. So far, newspapers has been working the best. And from Daniel here, dry socks and change often. We learned that in military, Daniel. I was actually in the military with Daniel there, and that's what we learned.
That's good.
Yeah, but I'm
change socks is very important.
Yes, but I'm
during the day.
I haven't tried the waterproof socks yet, like sealskins and things like that.
Sealskin.
I have a friend here in Norway that was quite happy with dry skins, or what you call them.
Sealskins.
Sealskins, yeah. Brands. I think he was quite happy with them. But that is quite okay when you ride in high temperatures or in summer. But if you ride early season or late season when it's quite cold outside, it can be, cold feet. That is just not my cup of tea.
Wool then.
Huh?
Better with wool than wool socks.
Yeah, but they smell like
No, they don't.
Put hand warmers inside the boots comes from Steve, and he tried most things. I think you tried all things, like put them in the toaster, and I think you did everything. So that's you, Steve. It's fun because
I'm a firefighter, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend being too creative on that part.
Okay.
And just think about it. You're riding around with socks that are wet, that smells like shit. It's like you paddle liquid or paddle acid, and you put that in a toaster. That would explode. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I think it smells bad at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be a little weapon.
Do we have any cool questions or something out there?
We have a lot of socks suggestions here, like plastic bags and socks when you get really wet, from Marcus at Tenerife. And and that's quite fun, this since we all dragged you over to this channel now just to have you listen to us babble along. So we actually know all of you guys already. We recognize your names here from the YouTube comments. So right, we have the comforting known group here, I guess. Yeah, the odor.
Yeah, a lot of the nicks are quite common. I see that a lot of my regular followers are actually writing in the chat here, and it's kind of blow me away that we get this kind of publicity, and I would really like for the continued support. It's amazing to kind of be a part of this, and of course it's really nice to bring people together as well, and I hope that we can manage to get more people to know each other as well, not only us.
Yeah, absolutely. But one more thing about the socks. The Tor has actually a good point here. Bad odor is bacteria having a party in your boots. That's a good stand-up party in my stomach. But try alcohol, like the one we used a lot during COVID to disinfect our hands. We had a different approach actually when we rode last, but beer internally doesn't reach the boots, I've heard. So perhaps the disinfectant directly in the boots could be sort of feels like it's waste, but
yeah, but it's quite amazing that the Tor is kind of talking about this, because alcohol prices in Norway are insanely high. So just throwing alcohol down in your boots, that is just counterintuitive for my. But of course, if you do I don't think you can drink the ones you put on your hands. I think that would be you get blind or something.
Yeah, but actually,
I used my whiskey as a mosquito repellent in Norway this summer. So why not pour it in the boots as well?
Yeah, but actually, on a serious note, I think he has a point there with the bacteria to kill them off, and then at least the odor will stop. I mean, we had 3 people with wet boots and a bacteria party, and going into this small hotel room and everybody takes the boots off. That's not a pleasant. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, that smell. Oh
yeah.
Could we have one other funny questions within the group here? What was your first bike, Robert?
My first bike, people think that because they don't know I'm faking everything. They think I am very experienced with bikes. But my first bike that I bought was Honda Shadow 750. Do you know that one?
Whoa, did you ride a Shadow?
Yeah, that's the custom. And actually, I had no plans of getting a bike license. I opened this gift on Christmas that I got from my wife, and I opened it first because it was apparently a boring gift, because I could feel it was a book. So yeah, let's open that first, and that was the theory book for bike license. Well, what's this? Yeah, we're
cool.
going to have a bike license. So fun, and so we did that. And
so what did you do with that Honda Shadow?
I sold it because then we got kids and everything. And then I met the Nomads, Nomad Sweden. They actually existed before I actually even got started in this second evolution of my bike riding. My long-time friends, and back to the 80s, and pool party, they ride bikes. We ride gravel and going on long adventures. Now we're going down to Iran, and so I was, and they happen to have a 1200 GS extra, as you do, and I borrowed it, went with them, and I really didn't climb off the bike after that. So, and they have the BMW 1200 GS Adventure, because that was the thing you had to have if you were serious about adventure, and because of the long way around. Yes, of course. So I quickly.
So that's when you got hooked on this.
Yeah, but who is your favorite, Obi-Wan Kenobi or the other one?
Charlie.
Borman. Charlie Boeing.
Actually.
Charlie Borman or Obi-Wan?
It's like choosing between you guys. I couldn't pick one actually.
Oh, I feel
Yeah,
honored.
yeah.
But then you're talking about Chewbacca as well.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I got myself this big GS adventure, and I directly noticed, and the same, I spent a few years mountain biking before that, and I realized that what I liked in mountain biking was downhill and really messy stuff, and that transferred over to the bikes. So I took that GS. On TET and everything, and yeah, then T7 came along. I saw the first picture and I just said that's the bike I'm going to have. So I sold it, the BMW, got that one, never looked back, don't want any other bike. So I'm hooked there. So I got my first real bike, which is a knobby tired bike, 2017 or 18 perhaps, so it's not old at all.
So you're a late bloomer, actually.
I'm a late bloomer. I did the family thing, and then I just got started with everything. It's sort of, I had everything piled up within me. I ran away and got a pilot license and started flying airplanes, and when I was done with that, I started with again the martial arts, and then mountain biking, and now this. So let's see where we end up. So
What
What
was your first bike, Matthias?
Oh, this is back in 1986.
Holy.
A 75cc Kawasaki monkey bike, and I must say this was through ADV riding as a kid. That was what I did with it. I had it on the countryside at my grandparents' farm, and was just riding into the woods and the gravel roads, and on the farm itself, of course, with that little 75cc cool bike. And then I went on.
Yeah, just to put in perspective, when Matthias got his first bike, I was 4 years old.
And then you got a lot taller than me.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think the second bike was a Suzuki RM 125cc motocross bike. Then I went down to 50cc in the moped age at 15. And after that, I studied and so on. So I didn't catch up for ad riding until, let's say, 15 years ago, I think, again. And what's like start from the beginning? Of course, I had some, you know how it is. It's like bicycling. You know the basics and so on. But I really need to get into it with a heavier bike in the woods and so on. And I started with a DR 800 Suzuki. We did some touring in Europe, me and my wife, and then it was very easy on the motorcycle show to just point to another bike, because that wasn't really convenient for the touring, but it was only cool on the gravel roads.
Yeah.
And then it was the 1200 GS ADV.
Yeah, you also had the big Bumblebee.
Yeah, and of course, then you went for the 690. I had a friend out there, Johan Weinö, that was riding a 690, and we was on the i Svenska rallyt spår. It's a gravel rally and meeting as well with very nice people around Sweden. And I was looking at that 690 enduro when I had the 1200. I was actually pretty quick on that bike, because it's easy to ride fast on gravel. It's when you're braking and so on into corners, it's get a little bit heavy, or if you go into the mud holes and to the forestry machine roads. But that happened as well. But the 690 were cool, and I had these bikes parallel with each other many years and so on. But I tended to ride only the 690. And then I got rid of both and went into the 790R, because I think that was a nice package that combined all of it. And that's where we are. And that's, we couldn't say anything about that, but I wonder what's happened 2023. We need to come back to that.
Yeah,
in a
and I
later
think
episode.
we need to cut that short and have a separate episode called Matthias Bikes, because that's a list.
Okay, I put down there. Sorry.
Sounds like, and I remember when we were at the Husqvarna Museum, and you shared a couple of stories from your path, your path through the motorcycle era, and it was quite interesting to see how many bikes you actually owned from growing up to until today.
Yeah, I think it's fun. So now it's your turn.
Oh yeah, I started on my journey in motorcycling when with my first bike was a VFR 800 from Honda, the Retriever from at that era. It was a 98 model, so I was quite happy with that. I actually got it before I got my license, and I was all into the poser, looking ridiculous in a racing suit with with chicken stripes on the side of the tire, and my knee pads, or what you call it, was kind of never touching the ground.
Yeah, so you filed them
So I
down
had
at home, right, to look cool?
Yeah, I saw a guy did that, but he made the angle wrong, so it was ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't dare to do the same, but yeah, I had that sparked something inside me. We were a couple of friends I was growing up with that got the license at the same time and bought themselves bikes, and I just never quit. It was just so amazing for me to get around so easily on a bike, and I'm quite amazed by nature and mountains and all that stuff. So I had a really good time, and I went through a couple of bikes. I think, yeah, I had the Ducati 748. That was my kind of like my jam. That was my absolute favorite bike until this day. I really regret selling it, but I kind of had to do it because life was going on and I was moving to another town and everything. So yeah, but I really enjoyed that bike. And I had the BMW S1000RR, the sport bike from the 2013, and that was just hysterical. 100 and I don't know how many horsepower it was, but it was insane. And we were a couple of friends. I was invited with a couple of friends in a Norwegian forum. We went down to the Alps. That was my first trip down to the Alps, and I was riding around on I'm 2 meters tall, riding around on a small pocket bike like that. It was a pain in the ass. So I decided on that trip, when I'm coming back home, I'm going all in on adventure. And it's kind of like when you really think you're having a good time, you're riding through the hairpins and you're thinking your knee is about to touch the ground, and there comes a way too old guy with way too big beard and gray hair just passing you with a passenger on the outside and just looking like you were a stupid one. And I just, what is going on? So that kind of made me go into the whole adventure rider stuff in 2015. Yeah.
So then
and I had the
hooked.
Super Adventure, the KTM, the first one. And then I went to in 2016, I tried the R1200 GSA. So I had a big Rhino myself for a couple of years, and I switched over to a smaller bike because that was the era where I started to do gravel roads, and I was really interested in that stuff. And I just discovered the Trans Euro Trail, so I went for the 690. But that wasn't great on long travels. That was actually the first time I met Arne. And when I was driving through Denmark and came into Sweden for the first time.
On the Danish guy who used to be at Skog a lot. And Arne.
Yeah, and he was just our Arne. Yeah, he was just an amazing. His hospitality and the way he took care of me down there, because I got an infection on my knee and everything. So yeah, it's just that could be a story for another day. That guy is just. I owe him so much in so many ways. But still, after that, I found that bike to be a pain in the ass to ride long travel. And I saw that my kind of riding was more about the adventure stuff than the gravel stuff, because we don't have so many gravel roads here on the West Coast. So I found the 790, the same bike as you, Matthias. And that was kind of like the jack of all trades. And I know
the unicorn.
a lot of questions why I change away my favorite bike, the 790, to the World Raid. But that story I will have to take on another episode.
Yeah, we're all looking for the
that's
unicorn,
a great
aren't we?
story. Yeah, we do. I love that.
Here's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think there is a unicorn, or do you think we will ever be satisfied?
There is.
We will always search for it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because the look of it, it's like they are not making any lighter bikes by the looks of it. Every time I see a spec sheet, they're always above 200 kilos.
Yeah. Well, a unicorn. What is a unicorn? It is the ultimate light dirt bike that you can go on, take it to November Kåsan or some really hard enduro stuff because it's so off-road capable, and you can do the twisties on asphalt and outrun everyone else. So it's good at everything. So, but I think at least they have gotten quite close with the latest bikes. Just any middleweight ADV bike nowadays. I mean, of course, it takes more of a rider to go advanced off-road on a ADV bike. But yeah, Paul Torres and Chris Birch, they all humble us, and yeah, it's not it's not the bike's fault.
They show us how to do.
Yeah.
And they keep us dreaming.
Yeah. Absolutely. So to finish this off, I guess, just people have been asking about some upcoming events. So what are we going to do next year? What's sort of on the, at least not channel wise, but on our other channels, I guess. What are we going to do? We don't have any really big joint plans on epic trips together yet. Who knows what the future has in mind? I have my boy band and go on the big trips with those guys. But then again, we've been talking, what if we made a trip video with the combined talent, if I may be that bold, with videography and everything, would be a cool video. But
that would be something. I will tease you with something in the next episode by my own channel about that.
Yeah. So
I owe you one.
I guess our own channels will continue as usual, and we'll have this place to meet. But who knows what other collaboration things we will do, and we will for certainly meet up and end up on each other's videos. And so the things that are on my radar for next year, if I start, is starting with the calendar. We have February, Steve's Slaskträffen, the slush meet. It's in February in the woods of Småland. It's a cold meet, so yeah, it depends on how much snow there is, and if I have studs or whatever. But that seems to be a big party. Then we have some Skog coming up, 11th to 14th of May. Might be seen there, and some, in between everything, of course, are the gems, the just weekend trips out with the tent and things like that. Road booking, I've gathered a few road books from friends, and there is also events coming up, like the Sør-Norge road book event. The
Norwegian road book event is quite popular.
Yeah, the Norwegian road book event. So I want to do more road booking because it's so much fun. I just love going on road books.
Yeah, my plan was to go on road book this year because I was waiting for a new kind of like a mount on my handlebar so I could attach my mobile phone, because I don't know how much road booking I want to do, but kind of just to try it. And So I do understand the fascination, and I see that so many people quite enjoy it. So it would be really cool. And a couple of years ago, I actually got an invite from Fedor. What is the name of that guy? He's doing quite well in some rallies down in Romania. I think he has a kind of like a event thing going on there, a rally challenge, a roadbook challenge, and he's quite good as a racer himself. And I think he got a couple of bikes that he rents out, so that would be cool to do. But I know that because of my family situation and my kid is growing up and everything, I know that it's really easy to wish for things to happen, and just like that, it turns around and it don't become a reality. So I'm a little bit afraid of promising too much, but I know that I will spend even more time on the road, and I will for certain go down south. I will try to stay away from Norway next year. I will do more of Sweden. I want to go down in Europe, and I really would like to do UK as well.
Yeah, so many things we want to do. It's hard to do everything.
I have a lot of spare time into next year, so I will keep that open actually.
Yeah.
But there will be some cool meetings out there that I know about that could be interesting.
Yeah. And I actually want to, it's kind of like I started a little project last year. And I tried to, because of my video channel on the side, not this thing, I want to go out and try to make like a small documentary or like a series of people that are well known in the community inside Norwegian motorcycling, to get to learn more people about because there's so many unique personality in the community that just do a lot for the community but never are kind of like bragging on Facebook or showing pictures of it. And I would like to shine a light on those kind of guys as well. And I think that would be a really good challenge for me to develop my camera skills and audio skills and all that stuff. So I would really like to do more storytelling or story-based videography thing inside the motorcycle community.
That's a cool thing to do. A really great thing.
Absolutely.
Like that idea.
We also got a cool idea from Daniel here, a challenge. Get cheap spikes and do a trip around Scandinavia. So just get really rat bikes. For the cheapest ones, get sort of a handicap, so that you can, the cheaper it is, the better points you get. And then we have.
I like that idea.
But we need to send we need to send a message to BBC or something. I think Top Gear did something like that, and we could probably strike with the copyright claim or something.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool idea. Who doesn't remember the guy on the Danish guy on a MZ that visited the school last year? That was a cool ride.
That Eastern European cool bike there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a couple of guys on the road that has done some insane stuff, like riding around in Europe with a Vespa. Or there's a guy on YouTube that the C90 Adventures, what he calls himself. It's kind of like you ride around the world with a cheap a cheap scooter or something similar. And it's just like, for me, I'm not sure if I'm getting too old or what it is, but I'm a little bit too much into comfort that I would try something like that myself, I think.
I think you could fold your 2 meters into cool Vespa. That would be nice to see. I look forward to that.
Yeah. All right. So people are wishing us good luck with the channel. Thank you. It's nice to have your support. And yeah, this was sort of the crisscross episode, I guess, with going everywhere and just chatting. And next time we will be back with more topic-based of some sort. Don't know where, don't know when, so stay subscribed and we'll let you know. So...
yeah, and this was kind of like the first episode, and everything kind of we are kind of relying a little bit on your feedback, trying to get a little bit response on what you think was good, what you think we should do less of, what should be the time frame and everything. Just try to give us a certain idea on what is good, and we always appreciate feedback and would like to do it more entertaining for your guys. This is not only just for us; it's more for your guys or your viewers watching all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you summed it up very good there.
Yeah, so we haven't planned any frequency of the episodes. They will be there when we have the content and and time to do it. But we will not give up. We will.
It's a question for you out there as well. You can comment on that, the frequency.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be nice to know.
And now this live chat is for the chat, I guess, but also in the description, as I mentioned earlier, we have the link to the forum, and you can also comment on the normal video later. So, and give us some feedback there, and we, hope you like it. And I feel excited, at least for the upcoming episodes when we really go into a topic and discuss that. And so topic, and when it's going to happen, you'll see.
Yeah, and of course we will try to keep or bring out a couple of videos as well, not only live broadcasts. Like if it's something topic related to the guys want to see, or so we try to do more than one thing on this channel, but mainly it will be the streaming and bringing you guys along on different events, and of course inviting some of your guests as guests, and because the internet today, you can be on the other side of the world and we can reach you, and that is quite unique.
And as long as you keep that mustache, we have at least one subscriber here. Moto Camel says, Thomas, keep the handlebar mustache.
Moto Camel, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Who?
Ted last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Moto Camel. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Moto Camel. Nice to have you here with us.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I think we need to elaborate a little bit about that, because we have the chat up here, and I know there comes in a lot of messages, and I'm sorry we can't answer everything, and we will try to do our best to do the topics and do some of it, and we can't promise anything. I think it takes away from the flow if we answer all of them. But we will read and we will look through it afterwards, and if there's anything that we miss, we will make sure to cover that in the comment section afterwards when this is not live anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Just to clarify that.
Are your glasses empty?
Yeah, I really need to refill.
Yeah. So
it's a good thing for all of you out there also. Be sure to bring the beer. One topic could be what is the best ADV beer at some episode.
Yeah.
We don't promise it.
Birra.
Absolutely. All right. Let's put the lid on for this time, I guess, and see you next time. And stay tuned and watch for the sort of posting of the next one. So thanks for
and thank you so much to everyone that came over to this channel and watch our babbling on our future plans and stuff like that. I highly appreciate it. So I hope you stay and enjoy more of our content in the future.
Yeah. All right. Signing off. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.